On News Hour tonight, security forces deployed to Kwara community. Kaduna abducted worshippers freed after 2 weeks. Plateau government confirms 3 more Lassa fever casualties. And on the international scene, flood trigger mass evacuation in northern Morocco. Hello and good evening. Welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. Now, a joint security team comprising the police, military and National Forest Guards have been deployed to Woro community in Kayama local government area of Kwara State following a deadly bandit attack. The Kwara State Police Command confirmed that the deployment is to maintain law and order, prevent further attacks and reassure residents. Police spokesperson Tom Ejiro Adeyemi said a full-scale investigation is underway to track down the attackers and bring them to justice. The Commissioner of Police, Adekimi Ojo, condoled with the families of the victims and urged residents to remain calm, cooperate with security agencies, and provide useful information to aid ongoing operations. Now, the Minority Caucus of the Senate on Thursday dismissed claims circulating in parts of the media that the National Assembly had rejected the electronic transmission of election results in the ongoing amendment to Nigeria's Electoral Act. Addressing journalists at the National Assembly, Senator Einaya Abaribe, Abia South, who led the opposition lawmakers, said the Senate did not vote against electronic transmission, but rather clarified and strengthened the wordings of the provision. The report.
According to him, what the Senate passed was a clear provision for the electronic transmission of results distinct from the term transfer used in the 2022 Electoral Act, which he described as vague and open to misinterpretation.
The Harmonization Committee was set up also yesterday because when the House version and the Senate version differ, because there were so many other things, including timelines that now differ, you set up a harmonization. Those harmonization is what you use to make sure that you come to one single document which the president will now sign. So that is where we are at the moment. But I need to add one further thing so that Nigerians can rest assured. After our session, plenary session yesterday, we adjourned, but did not come back to pass the votes and proceedings. And that is our rule, and you all who are here, you know it.
He further disclosed that the Senate had set up an ad hoc committee to review the electoral reform report before deliberations in a closed exclusive session where lawmakers resolved outstanding issues before returning to plenary. The lawmaker also clarified that the harmonization process between the Senate and House versions of the bill had not yet been concluded, as the Senate must first adopt its votes and proceedings formally before the conference committee can meet.
We felt, those of us who are still around, that it would be necessary to make a clarification of what happened yesterday, to put the records straight. Yesterday, the Senate did not, I repeat, did not pass transfer of results, which was in the 2022 Act. What we passed, and which the Senate President himself, when he was doing a clarification sitting on his chair, is transmission of results. And I need to make this very clear. Every one of us who is a senator, who has the privilege to represent a senatorial district came here under the trust of their senatorial zone.
Senate had on Wednesday set up a conference committee to harmonize differences between its version of the Electoral Amendment Bill and that of the House of Representatives.
Now we are cycling back to the first story. Joining us via phone call to discuss on Kwara insecurity is Saliu Umaworo, a citizen from the affected area. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, thank you for joining me again. And can you describe the impact of the attack?
Yes, in fact, it's a very unfortunate event. What we see day before yesterday is around 5, some minutes after 5, when we start to experience some strong noise looking like a bomb. Before community to know what is happening, the community was surrounded by unknown government, and that is when the attack started. So they start killing people initially, assembling them, targeting them, and shooting them on their head. Before the information spread, the Air Force was notified, the SS was notified. But when they come to our aid, they initially run and run for their safety, while some few people get escaped. So when the Air Force disappeared, and it was dark around 9 to 9, that is when they resumed. They now started burning places, calling people for help. They should come and quench fire. We don't know that they are the one calling people. That is when they start killing people. They were there up to 3 before the military personnel also come to our rescue.
Okay, so how?
And then,
go ahead.
Yes, they started on fire up to 3 before the military personnel come on to our rescue. They are in the community until in the morning. In the morning again, thinking that community is safe, those that are home for safety inside bush start coming to the town. That was around 6 to 7. When they want to come and finish what they have done, on entering again, they now see the military vessel powered with machine gun on top. That is when they wanted to run for their safety. Then the military start to fire them. On going to community again, they thought they are the one, because they are not aware that the military already did that. They started running again to the bush before we can now tell them that no, it's the military that come to help them. So, but before then, they already killed many people. Because as for that day before yesterday evening to this today, when we finished the burial this evening, what we counted was 178 that we buried.
So you've said the security forces arrived. How long did it take them to arrive, and what kind of support have you received so far?
So in fact, before they arrive, it's too late, to be sincere, because as of the time we called them, if they appear immediately, so they could have made resistance. They operate up to 78 hours without resistance. They operate freely without resistance. And the reason why they even left is because they capture many women and children, they take their daughter to the bush. They take them to far away because they burn the village head house. They carry one of his big jeep and loaded the woman there and one of the head personnel. He has a Toyota car. They also killed and carried the Toyota car inside the bush. So when they take the women, so as I'm talking to you, the number of people they adopted, we cannot assess it. People are still bringing reports that my wife is missing. What we are counting now is between 100 to 150 that they adopt and carry to the bush.
So the government has announced that securities have been redeployed to the area. Do you feel safer now, and what specific measures would you like to see to ensure your community's security?
Yes, actually, as of yesterday, they deployed 80 personnel to that place, at least 50 military officers and 30 forest guards, the newly recruited forest guards. Now the community is secured, everybody is safe. As I'm talking to you now, in fact, yesterday I sleep with my eyes closed. Until when the governor come, they wake me around 1, we went to receive him. To be sincere, I sleep with my eyes closed. As I'm talking to you now, in the community, my house, I feel secured. But what we want from government is overlasting measure that these people will not come again. At least they should follow them to the forest and refuse these our women that they adopted. That is number one. And they should at least finish them so that subsequent will not occur. Because our issues with them is that they bring later to community that they are coming to preach into the community. The village head in fact was with allied people. And our contribution is that these people are going against government. And these people, they are going against some religions. And we will not accept that. Our community is for both Muslim and Christian. We are living peacefully. We don't have problem with each other. So by the time they will come in between us, and we accept them to come, and the president, we are the people that will face the consequences. Because we witness for a community like Kemandi, instead, let's report this to the authority and we report it. So that is our offense. That they say they are living more peacefully, we now went to report to community, and that is why they come to attack.
All right. Thank you so much, Aliu Umar, for contributing on the News Hour.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome.
And now move on to more stories. The faction of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, led by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, alongside the party's national chairman, Abdurrahman Mohammed, and national secretary, Samuel Anyanwu, attended the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, quarterly consultative meeting with political parties in Abuja on Wednesday. Also present at the meeting held at INEC headquarters in Abuja were the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Nentawe Yelwatda, and chairman of other registered political parties across the country. At the venue, INEC provided designated seats for the PDP leadership. Abdurrahman Mohammed occupied the seat reserved for the PDP national chairman, while Samuel Anyanwu sat directly behind him in the position marked for the PDP national secretary. The development comes on the heels of a federal high court ruling delivered in Ibadan, Oyo State, on Friday, January 30th, 2026, which nullified the PDP national convention held in Ibadan on November 15th, 2025.
Well, first of all, it's very clear. Nigerians are aware. Yes, we had issues, we had court issues on, and in last week, Friday, as a matter of fact, the Federal High Court in Ibadan made it very clear that the problem of PDP is over because the so-called convention of November 15 16, 2025 is a nullity. And that no other person should parade himself or herself as a member of the National Committee of a party. And that the recognized body of PDP that has the full powers to speak for the party, to work for for the party, is the National Committee led by Honorable Abdurrahman Mohammed.
Now, the Kabir Turkey-led faction of the PDP National Working Committee has criticized INEC for recognizing the Wike-backed caretaker committee, describing the move as unconstitutional. In a statement, the faction warned it will challenge INEC's action in court following a federal high court's ruling in Ibadan that nullified the PDP National Convention held on November 15, 2025. The ruling barred Turkey and others from parading themselves as party officers, a decision welcomed by the Wike-aligned camp, which plans to organize a fresh convention to elect new party leaders. Both factions are now locked in legal battles as the 2027 general elections draws closer. Now, victims of the Kuruminwali abduction have regained their freedom after spending weeks in captivity in the forest. They were brought to Sir Kashim Ibrahim House in Kaduna State, where they recounted harrowing experience of hunger, beatings, and inhumane treatment by their captors. The report.
The victims were abducted while attending church service in Kuruminwali community on January 18, 2026. One of the victims, Hosaya Madami, said their experience in the forest was full of suffering. Very little, and it had no taste because there was no salt. We spent almost 6 days walking in the forest. They were beating us with sticks. Truly, we suffered a lot. Another victim, Philomena Jonathan, said the captors gave them very little food and often beat them. She added that even coughing or crying attracted punishment.
In the forest, they gave them very little food. They beat the men more. They did not beat us women as much.
A pregnant victim, Theresa Irimia, revealed that she was spared from beatings because of her condition.
We went to bush, but me, I get belly. That is why they tell me say I should go back with small children.
Governor Obasani, who received the rescued victims, warned against politicizing insecurity in the state.
Here we have 172, but the numbers that were adopted at the beginning were 183. 11 were the first people that came back, and we took them straight to the hospital. I'm happy to announce that all of them have been certified medically fit, and they have all returned home, and they are at home now. The 172, out of them, as you are aware, about 83 were the people that returned about 3 days ago, and 89 were the ones that were rescued only yesterday or early morning of today, and the number put together.
The victims thanked the government for their rescue and safe return, describing their reunion with family members as a huge relief after weeks of trauma. Bello Musa, Cross TV News, Kaduna.
Now, the Defense Headquarters DHQ has clarified that Nigeria's security partnership with the United States is focused on capacity building, training, intelligence sharing, and logistics support, not the deployment of foreign troops. This follows public speculations after the head of U.S. Africa Command, General Dagvin Anderson, disclosed increased collaboration between both countries, including the presence of a small U.S. team to support Nigeria's counterterrorism efforts. Nigeria's Defense Minister, General Christopher Musa, confirmed that a U.S. team is in the country. Reacting, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samaila Uba, said all engagements with the United States are conducted within bilateral frameworks and with full respect for Nigeria's sovereignty. He added that recent high-level meetings in Abuja were aimed at strengthening coordination and effectiveness in tackling security threats, assuring Nigerians that the armed forces remains committed to protecting the country's territorial integrity. The Nigerian Army and French armed forces have strengthened collaboration to combat terrorism and regional security threats. Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, commended France for support in intelligence sharing, military training, and operational readiness, describing such partnership as vital for Nigeria's security. French Defense Attaché Colonel Stéphane Oseo praised the Nigerian Army's resilience and recovery operations and called for expanded access to professional military courses, particularly in public relations and aviation. The engagement focused on enhancing operational cooperation and sustaining bilateral defense partnership to address evolving regional and global security challenges. Now, the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has resolved to the petition the police and security agencies following remarks attributed to Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, NNPP national leader. Kwankwaso reportedly claimed that during the 2019 Kano governorship election dispute, he personally took Abba Yusuf, now Kano State governor, to meet Supreme Court justice after the election was declared inconclusive by INEC. The Supreme Court later upheld Abdullahi Ganduje's election. The NBA warned that such claims, direct or implied, could determine public confidence in the judiciary and Nigeria's electoral justice system. Now, Justice James Kolawole Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered the police and DSS to investigate his court's registrar, Nasiru Zubairu, and the second defendant, Daudu Suleiman, for allegedly tampering with evidence in a 10 billion fraud trial. The case involves Ali Bello, Chief of Staff to the Kogi State Governor, accused of the fraud. The EFCC had tendered WhatsApp chats as exhibit, but Zubairu confessed that Suleiman approached him to delete some messages from a phone deposited with the court. In court, Zubairu explained how he was asked to delete the chats and admitted opening only 2 of the messages. The EFCC investigation confirmed that messages from December 2020 to January 2021 were deleted, including references to large cash transfers. Justice Omotosho stressed the court's zero tolerance for evidence tampering and directed full investigation to determine the scope of the deletions. Now, a long-running dispute over the proposed Gurara 2 hydropower project in Niger State has pitched Abuja Power Company Limited against the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation. Both parties, during a meeting, presented conflicting claims before the House of Representatives. The report.
The disagreement centers on the 360-megawatt Gurara 2 hydropower project, a multi-purpose facility designed for power generation, irrigation, flood control, fisheries, and tourism. The project is located within the federal government irrigation corridor along the Boale-Jere junction of Niger State. At the hearing, the federal government was represented by the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Usev, while Abuja Power Company Limited, APCL, appeared through its lead counsel, Oluwemi Okumbi, SAN, and Company Director, Professor George Moorman. The ministry told lawmakers that technical feasibility studies carried out in 2010 led to a selective procurement process which culminated in the award of the project to CGC Nigeria Limited. According to the ministry, APCL only emerged after the project had already been procured.
The ministry engaged 3 consortiums firms in 2010 to carry out a technical assessment of the proposed project, with the expectation that the federal government would fund the construction of the dam. The following studies were carried out on the proposed project in different lots. The first one was the geotechnical studies. The second was the environmental impact assessment studies.
APCL, however, disputed the ministry's claims, insisting that it initiated the project as far back as 2004 and obtained a certificate of occupancy from the Niger state government. The company alleged that the title was later revoked, prompting it to seek legal redress. In its petition to the House, APCL urged lawmakers to review the concession allegedly awarded to CGC Nigeria Limited, citing violations of procurement and concession laws. The company is also asking for either equal consideration in the project or compensation.
We hereby pray on behalf of our client for the following. 1. The committee should note that the PPP or concession agreement with the Chinese company, we just abbreviated their name, GCCOC/CGC Nigeria Limited, for the development of the Gurara 2 multipurpose dam hydropower project contravenes the Public Procurement Act, the ICRC Act, and the regulations concerning unsolicited proposals for public-private partnerships.
Chairman of the House Committee handling the matter, Sada Soli, said the panel will carefully examine all submissions, including court documents, before determining the next line of action.
To approach the court to seek for its adjournment sine die on the matter, to enable the parties to sit down and look at the amicable way to resolve this matter in order to save this project in the name and the interest of the country. This is what has been agreed.
The committee is expected to reconvene after reviewing the documents presented by both parties.
Now, a civil society organization has called on President Bola Tinubu to order a thorough investigation into allegations of certificate forgery leveled against the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, following controversies surrounding his National Youth Service Corps NYSC certificate. The group said the president must uphold the highest standards of integrity in his administrations by ensuring that any act capable of bringing the government into dispute is not overlooked. Spokesperson of the group, David Isaiah Ijele, while speaking during a protest to NYSC headquarters and National Assembly in Abuja, recalled that former Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun resigned from office in 2018 over issues linked to her NYSC certificate, and former minister in Tinubu's government, Uche Nnaji, also stepping aside. He said the same standards should apply to Mr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo.
Now, we are beginning to find out that there are inconsistencies in the certificate that NYSC is issuing to individuals. Nigeria cannot continue in this manner. We as a Nigerian citizen, of course, have integrity, and if such inconsistency in NYSC certificate continue, of course, it will throw Nigeria in the bad light. So, during Buhari regime, Adeosun was having a certificate standard, NYSC. What happened? She resigned and she left. Again, Nnaji, by October last year, was having the same NYSC certificate. He resigned. Now it is time for this present person, Mr. Tunji-Ojo.
We are not victimizing anybody. I have no problem with Ojo. I have never met him. So there is no point of me having a personal grudges. But do you know what? We cannot be running a banana republic where one will be punished for one offense and another will be celebrating. Justice. That is injustice. We cannot continue this injustice. Our independence has long overdue for us to have a good country. One of the things that have kept us is because of injustice.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Plateau government confirms 3 more Lassa fever casualties. This plus more will return. Just stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is News Hour on Trust TV. In case you missed it, let's take a look at our headlines again. We told you that security forces deployed to Kwara communities, and Kaduna abducted worshippers freed after 2 weeks. And now move on to more stories. The Plateau State government has confirmed 3 additional deaths from Lassa fever, bringing the toll higher in recent weeks. The Commissioner for Health, Nicholas Bamlong, disclosed this in an interview following the death of a resident doctor at Bingham University Teaching Hospital in Jos, who contracted the disease from a patient under her care. Bamlong said a laboratory test confirmed the latest fatalities, adding that emergency response measures have been activated to contain the spread of the virus. He noted that surveillance and case management have been intensified across affected communities and health facilities following confirmation of several other cases. The Commissioner added that the state has received support from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, to strengthen response efforts and urged residents to observe preventive measures, including proper hygiene, safe food storage, and early medical attention for symptoms such as fever, headache, and vomiting. Now, the Media Trust Group, the publishers of Daily Trust and other trust titles, as well as the owners of Trust TV and Radio, has celebrated 3 of its journalists for emerging winners of awards in investigative reporting. The journalists clinched honors at the 33rd Media Merit Awards and also emerged winners of the prestigious Wole Soyinka Awards for investigative journalism. Trust TV's Dokas Yakubu has more.
For Media Trust Group, it is a moment of pride as 3 of its journalists emerged victorious at the 33rd Media Merit Awards, one of the most respected in Nigeria's media industry. They also won the Wole Soyinka Award for investigative journalism, topping both the print and broadcast categories, a feat that underscores Media Trust Group's dedication to impactful and responsible journalism. Speaking at the event, the Chief Executive Officer of Media Trust Group, Ahmed Ibrahim Shekaro, described the recognition as a testament to the organization's long-standing commitment to truth, integrity, and public interest journalism.
We are really proud that these guys have actually raised our own flag, last year, and we feel that this celebration of these gentlemen that we are doing will inspire other colleagues to also see the need, because this is not just for Hafiz, Gaza, and Muslim, it's for all of us.
The editorial director and editor-in-chief of Media Trust Group, Ibrahim Shehu Adamu, congratulated the award recipients, describing the achievement as a reflection of professionalism and hard work.
This award have a way of opening you to the rest of the world and also have a way of opening a lot of goodwill to us. Once more, we are not where we want to be, but I will say congratulations to the winner. It's just a sign for us to continue to do more and to work harder. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll bring home some more awards.
One of the award recipients, Muslim Muhammad Yusuf, expressed gratitude to the organization and dedicated the honor to his colleagues and newsroom teams who supported the investigations.
I'm happy that this story won at least 2 awards within a year, after the Wole Soyinka, there is CGID award that it's won, which is actually a great one. After appearing even in Global Investigative Journalism Scorecard, a Story of the Month. So I'm sure, and more awards will come, I think, with the story, because there is still Wameka coming this year with the story, and also NMMA, as we mentioned earlier.
Though not physically present at the event, Gaza Yakubu and Afeez Hanafi also expressed gratitude to God, the organization, and their colleagues for the support received. Members of the Media Trust Group Executive Management Committee also praised the journalists for their outstanding achievements.
I would really like to congratulate the team, individually and collectively, those that have taken us to where we are in terms of this recognition. I want to congratulate Yakubu, Muslim, and Afeez for doing the very best to make sure that we bring these trophies home.
Congratulations to all of us, and we look forward to more and more and more awards from all of us, both male and female, as Ajia said.
Also speaking, Hamza Idris, Deputy Editorial Director, Print, congratulated the award recipients and encouraged other journalists to emulate their footsteps.
So I congratulate all of you once again, and I hope we collectively work together. Of course, there was always a face. Even the one he did, the cameramen were there, all those who did the back-end work, which I hope the management will also start organizing them.
The Wole Soyinka Award for Investigative Journalism and the Media Merit Awards is regarded as one of the most prestigious honors in African media, celebrating stories that drive social change and national development. The multiple wins by Media Trust Group further reinforce its position as a leading force in journalism across print and broadcast platforms. The award-winning journalists once again dedicated the honor to the newsroom teams whose support made the investigations possible. Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, has impounded 27 vehicles over what it described as a grave violations of safety rules. The agency said the operation targeted the dangerous practice of vehicular overloading following repeated warnings to motorists. According to LASMA, commercial and private vehicles were found carrying excessive loads, including goods placed in luggage compartments and mounted on rooftops, obstructing rear visibility and affecting vehicle balance. LASMA General Manager Olalekan Bakarioke said overloading violates traffic laws and poses serious risks to occupants and other road users. The agency urged motorists to comply with loading limits, ensure clear visibility, and prioritize road safety at all times. Kaduna State Governor Ubasani has commissioned what he described as the longest road constructed in the state in the last 2 decades. The road cuts across 3 local government areas and connects more than 76 farming communities, boosting access and economic activities. The report.
The 35-kilometer asphaltic road stretches from Gadangayan through Gwaraji to Kujama Junction, linking Igabi, Kajuru, and Chikun local government areas. It also features a 130-meter bridge over River Kaduna, providing access to several rural communities. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony on Monday, Governor Obasani described the project as a historic milestone in Kaduna State's infrastructure development. He said it reflects his administration's inclusive and people-centered development agenda. The governor recalled that when the project was flagged off in January 2024, his administration pledged to deliver a durable and efficient transport corridor to serve the people.
So what we are commissioning today is a 35-kilometer standard asphaltic road that begins from Gadargayan and passes through Gwaraji in Igabi local government area, Usar in Kajuru local government area, and terminates at Kujama Junction in Chukun local government area.
Governor Sani explained that the road provides an alternative route that reduces dependence on the often congested Kaduna metropolis, cutting travel time and transportation costs for commuters and traders. He also highlighted the agricultural significance of the project, noting that agriculture remains the leading contributor to Kaduna State gross domestic product growth.
For residents and road users within Kaduna State and beyond, this road provides a reliable alternative route that significantly reduces dependence on the often congested Kaduna metropolis. Travelers moving between Kaduna, 3 senatorial zones, Zone 1, Zone 2, and 3 will experience shorter travel times, lower transportation costs, improved safety, and greater efficiency.
Traditional rulers and other stakeholders from the 3 local government areas commended the governor for the developmental project, describing it as timely and impactful.
Your Excellency, the kind of developmental project you are doing in Kaduna State, not only is unprecedented. Last year, the President commissioned the Skill Acquisition Center at Gachkin for you. Friday last week, you commissioned the resettlement of Tudimbiri in Afaka. Today, you are commissioning this project in Igabi local government. Your developmental projects are unprecedented.
People of Chukun local government express our profound gratitude for being part of this very important project as one of the major beneficiaries, alongside numerous other projects and developmental project initiatives that have brought joy and hope to our people.
Mu anan wannan yanki na zuwa nan south.
In this part of the state, we have witnessed the positive impact of your developmental project under your administration. Come 2027, you can count on our massive support.
2027 za ta ninka wanda aka yi shi da ka zo yanzu.
Kajuru, Chukun local government, and the people of Kaduna State and humanity in general. Thank you very much.
The governor explained that the road is part of a broader infrastructure program comprising 140 road projects covering 1,335 kilometers across Kaduna State. According to him, 66 of the roads initiated by his administration have already been completed, while others are between 60 and 75% completion.
The federal government, in collaboration with Borno State authorities, has distributed food and nutrition items to vulnerable communities affected by conflict and humanitarian crisis. Acting Governor Usman Kadafor said the initiative demonstrates the government's commitment to supporting conflict-affected populations and restoring their livelihoods. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs Bernard Doro noted that the intervention is part of President Tinubu's hope-renewed agenda aims to reduce hunger and alleviate economic hardship. He urged accountability and transparency in distribution. The relief items included rice, cooking oil, gari, spaghetti, salt, and seasonings, among others.
This scale reflects the seriousness of government commitment to food security, nutrition stabilization, and humanitarian protection. Given Borno State's prolonged displacement and socio-economic disruption, it remains a priority. Accordingly, this intervention is a starting point Beyond relief, we are committed to building resilience, supporting local agriculture, livelihoods, and nutrition education to move communities from dependence to self-reliance. In closing, let me reaffirm our resolve. No Nigerian should go hungry. In Borno State, our administration remains resolute in strengthening social protection system, expanding humanitarian support, and ensuring that no citizen is left behind in our collective quest for stability, unity, and prosperity. This distribution exercise symbolizes hope for the families struggling to meet their daily nutritional needs. We assure all stakeholders that the process will be conducted with transparency, fairness, and accountability.
Now in business, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, projects Nigeria will become Africa's third largest economy by 2026, with GDP hitting $334 billion, surpassing Algeria. The IMF credits the rise to high oil production, improved foreign exchange liquidity, and macroeconomic reforms such as fuel subsidy removal, exchange rate liberalization, and fiscal adjustments. While the reforms have caused short-term inflationary pressures, they are aimed at medium-term economic growth and stability. Nigeria's GDP growth for 2026 is now forecast at 4.4%, up from an earlier estimate of 4.2%. Analysts say Nigeria's energy, service, telecommunications, and trade sectors are driving growth, reinforcing its standing among emerging economies. The IMF also projects Nigeria will contribute 1.5% to global GDP growth, placing it among the top 10 worldwide. Still on business, Nigeria has recorded an estimated 6 trillion gain from downstream petroleum sector reforms within the first 9 months of 2025, driven by fuel market deregulation and reduced imports. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, disclosed this at the Nigerian International Energy Summit in Abuja. The authority's chief executive, Saidu Mohammed, said Nigeria is moving from total dependence on fuel imports towards zero importation, with domestic refining and exports already underway. He attributed the gains to full deregulation, increased gas utilization, and the sales of petroleum products in Naira, noting that the reforms have helped conserve foreign exchange. Mohammed added that natural gas is becoming a key pillar of Nigeria's energy supply under the federal government's Decades of Gas initiative, while stressing that strong regulations and private investments are critical to sustaining the reforms. Now, away from Nigeria, over 50 people have been evacuated from their homes in northern Morocco following severe rainfall and flooding, the Interior Minister told AFP. The evacuations began on Friday, mainly in Larish province, where the city of Kesar El Kabir, about 100 kilometers south of Tangier, experienced significant flooding. Authorities say evacuees have been housed with relatives or in temporary shelters, while the Moroccan army has been deployed to assist relief efforts under orders from King Mohammed VI. The National Weather Service warned of heavy rain, strong winds, and snowfall about 1,500 meters from Monday to Wednesday across several provinces. The flood follows a spate of deadly weather in the region, including 37 deaths in Morocco last December, recent floodings in Algeria, and Tunisia's heaviest rainfall in over 70 years, which claimed at least 5 lives. Now for sport updates, let's join Adeni Ajishafe.
Officials of Confederation of African Football CAF praised the facilities provided by Nigeria following the conclusion of inspection tour ahead of Nigeria's bid to hold the final phase of 2025-2026 CAF African Schools Football Championship, an annual under-15 football competition launched 4 years ago to promote youth football development and education across Africa. A 7-member CAF inspection team led by Omar Amir concluded a 2-day assessment on Wednesday after evaluating facilities at Raymond Star Sports Institute in Ikene, FC Ebede Stadium in Shagamu, and Babcock University Teaching Hospital. CAF African School Football Tournament is backed by a $10 million investment from the Mosepe Foundation, owned by CAF President Patrice Mosepe, and features zonal qualifiers leading to a continental finals event. A total of 24 teams are expected at the finals, the biggest edition since the competition started in 2022. The lineup would include 8 boys teams and 8 girls teams across Africa, as well as 8 invited teams from other FIFA confederations. CAF highlighted the impact of the championship, noting its partnership with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, and World Health Organization (WHO) in promoting health education among young players. Tanzania emerged as champion in the boys category, while Ghana won the girls title in the last edition of African School Football hosted in Accra, Ghana. Winners of 2026 tourney are entitled to infrastructural development grant. CAF expressed satisfaction with the quality, standard, and readiness of the facilities, describing them as outstanding by continental standards ahead of Nigeria's bid to host the final phase. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
Platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news. I'm Fatima Ahmed Musa from me and the crew. Thank you for watching.